Hello guys, let's talk about the earthquake that occurred in mainly Turkey and also in Libya. So you understand a lot of people died. Little earlier BBC reports that 23,000 people have been confirmed dead. Probably there are many more also dead. Whatever, it's really rising very high. It's devastating. The earthquake is really tumultuous, devastating. But I want to make a joke with it. Don't take it otherwise. Suppose somebody is under the wreckage, under the debris, and rescued alive after maybe 15 days or so. He had been very fat, but later he was recovered very slim. So it happens. Suppose you have 20 kgs of fat in your body. When you have food, the fat doesn't really get lessen. It remains there. And if you have the insulin resistance, if you have diabetes, then what happens? The carbohydrate doesn't work. It turns into fat in course of time. And if you do not have food for long, then after maybe 1, 2 or 3 days, the body finds out the ways to eat up the fat, and that's how the fat is eaten up. So even when he is not having any food, the body is having food because you have a lot of fat in you. So fat is the best means of fitness, but it depends on how you can work it. Suppose somebody is under the rubble, under the wreckage, under the debris, and recovered maybe 2 weeks later, he may be alive. And if he was very much fat, but later he was found recovered very slim. So it's really funny, but it's true. We don't want fat a lot in our body, but in case of this kind of danger, it may work better, right? So what happens? There are 20 to 22 amino acids that we need in our body, but 9 of them are essential. They are called essential amino acids. When you have protein like fish, meat, the eggs, then what happens? Dal. What you have? You have a lot of protein, and this protein is used as the growth, as the muscle. So if you have 9 essential amino acids, they will work with that protein, and subsequently the protein turns into flesh in your body, right? So the most important thing is that if you have insulin resistance, kind of 0.5 to 1.5, if you have insulin resistance, that's quite normal. But if it is more than 1.5, then the problem arises. You develop diabetes, you develop different diseases. And when you eat, the carbohydrate turns into fat, and even protein turns into fat, and they all accrue in your body, and you become fatty, you become obese, you develop fatty liver. Because of all this, you get very much obese. So the thing is that if you stop eating carbohydrates for maybe 100 days, what will happen? The insulin resistance can get close to 0.5 to 1.5. Then the thing is getting better with you. If you have protein, then the protein will turn into flesh, muscle. You can get better in health. But if you have insulin resistance, that's more than 1.5, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe even more, then your body cannot turn carbohydrate into muscle, because 8 amino acids work, but 1 essential amino acid can't work. And that's why the protein doesn't turn into muscle. So you're having food very little, but still you do not develop flesh, do not increase your muscle, but your belly gets swollen. So when you see my face, you'll find that I am not that much healthy, but it's not true, because I can run 15 kilometers, I can walk, I can play badminton for over 3 hours alone. Fantastic. When I take stairs up, I do very nice. I don't pant, I don't gasp, I don't feel tired. Nothing like that happens. So because I don't have that much insulin resistance, my diabetes is quite normal. It's sometimes 4, and it's between 4 to 5 or 6, like that. But I have insulin resistance because I take carbohydrates sometimes. When I go to a program, I eat rice, bread, I take junk food, sometimes I drink date juice, I sometimes take coffee with sugar and milk. Because of this, my insulin resistance doesn't come below 1.5, but my diabetes turns normal. So diabetes is not the major thing. Because of the insulin resistance, we develop diabetes. If it is more than 1.5, it subsequently turns into diabetes, right? So what's most important is that do not worry because you're having little food. It doesn't matter. You don't need a lot of food. You take some nutritious food and then that's it. I take very little food. That's why my diabetes stays normal, but I do not grow my muscle, my flesh. That's the problem, right? So do not take frequently. I fast for over 16 hours, between 16 to 20 hours. I do not have any food, only I have water, and sometimes I take tea without sugar and milk, right? This is how I have no problem physically right now. For 3 years or more, I've found that I developed diabetes, and as I stopped rice, most of the carbohydrates, I feel fine, quite comfortable. But the problem is with my face. It doesn't have that much flesh. To have your beautification in your face, overall body, you need muscle or you need fat. But as it is very difficult to grow your muscle, you can easily grow your fat. The fat deposit is very dangerous. It's only necessary when you are in trouble. You can't have food, maybe because of the earthquake, maybe because the aeroplane you were traveling and it went down and it dropped in the jungle, or somehow you have had no food for quite some days, right? So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.